Hi everyone, we're going to talk about marketing and advertising today, and I'm going to also describe to you how we're getting closer and closer to being ready to launch a business if that's the direction you want to go. To begin with, let's take a look at where we are in this business development process. We started out looking at your vision and developing a financial model that would support your lifestyle and your work goals that you have. Then we developed a mission statement and a value proposition for our clients saying this is really why we're in business and the value that we bring to the world through our products and services. The third thing we did was looked at product development and pricing, figuring out how to create solutions, not problems, and how to identify synergy in the marketplace so that our core skill sets can be applied to a wide range of products that meet a variety of target market needs. And then we went on to develop that target market and figure out who actually needs the kind of products and services that we offer. And then we looked at branding and we looked at networking opportunities. And now we're going to talk about marketing and advertising. All the work that we've done so far has to be in place before we're ever ready to start a business. So some of you have been asking me, why are we doing all this product development, target marketing, and branding work when we don't even know how to launch a business and get a business license? I want to point out to you that the business model development work has to happen before you're ever ready to actually launch a business. So the things that we need to do before we ever go into business include developing our vision of what our lifestyle and our work life is going to be like so that we can set some financial goals and develop a financial model to support that. And then we have to figure out what's the real value of what we're doing, why are we doing it, who needs it. And so we develop things like our mission statement, we develop our value proposition of what we're bringing of special value into the world. And then we look at product development and figure out what are our core skill sets and what are the core products that we can create that have synergy and scalability with some other types of products we might create as well. And then we have to figure out who are we really trying to reach in our marketing efforts. Who's our target market? Who needs the products and services that I'm potentially going to be selling down the road? So I need to figure out who that is before I ever get into launching a business. And then finally, we want to develop some branding and really get the branding right. And then determine some things like networking, some people that we can talk to that are going to be influential in helping us be successful, build that network. And then we want to finally, as we're going to talk about today, talk about what is the difference between marketing and advertising. All this happens before we ever get ready to launch a real business. After we're ready to launch our business, then we get into the legal contracts that we need to have in place, the licensing that we need to have in place, our accounting systems and financial reporting requirements that we need to have in place, and then we start thinking about the day-to-day business management and how we develop our workflow and our productivity to make everything run smoothly. So that's where we're at right now. And let's talk about marketing and advertising. It's the last step before we start really looking at what it takes to launch a business. So what is marketing? It's a lot. Marketing is a lot of different things. In simple terms, it refers to the means of communication between a company and its target audience. This is why we want to know who our target market is before we ever develop a marketing plan. The American Marketing Association defines it as the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. That's a big mouthful, but the reality is all successful businesses have an impact on society at large. I've made a list here of things that I think encompass marketing in general. And that starts with your mission statement. Many companies will market themselves based upon having a stated mission. Dove is a company that is primarily known for selling soap products, and they have a mission here that says, we believe beauty should be a source of confidence and not anxiety. That's why we are here to help women everywhere develop a positive relationship with the way they look, helping them raise their self-esteem and realize their full potential. Here is their campaign for real beauty that is based upon that mission. And they've built their logo, which is a dove that has all these faces. It's a mosaic of faces. So this is a whole campaign that is designed to increase their sales of soap products by solving a problem of helping people feel empowered about their self-image. Here's a quote from Dove's VP of Branding saying that we want to challenge the definition of beauty. We believe that beauty has become too narrow in definition. We want to defy the stereotype that only the young, blonde, and tall are beautiful. So there's a real mission behind that. And they've used it as a big part of their marketing campaign. Let's take a look at this short ad. All right, so nice example of using visual media to communicate a strong brand and marketing materials to a target market. Also, the tagline that goes with your website or goes with your business cards that just describes in one succinct sentence what you're about and who you serve is another marketing tool that we have. So let's take a look at a short video clip that talks about the power of a great tagline in marketing and advertising.
Think small, think big, think different. No, these aren't contradicting pieces of advice. They're the taglines for Volkswagen, IMAX, and Apple. Chances are, at least one of those companies popped into your head when you heard that sentence. That's the power of a good tagline. With just a few words, they can instantly call to mind a specific company. And great taglines, they'll make a brand a household name. So what's behind a great tagline? Taglines have been a part of branding for centuries, and the fact that they're still used hundreds of years later shows how powerful they can be. Open happiness. You can't deny it. It's catchy. Slogans succeed when they're memorable. Coca-Cola says a lot with only 2 words and 5 syllables. Second, they include a key benefit. Instead of talking about a product, they talk about the way the product makes people feel. Open happiness doesn't talk about the way Coke tastes, looks, or smells, but it does leave an impression. Third, they differentiate the brand. A great tagline sets a flag in the ground by making a claim about the brand. Is your brand universal, timeless, down to earth, joyful? Whatever it is, great taglines say something unique. Finally, they impart positive feelings about the brand. Because they're so closely associated with their parent brand, the best taglines use positive, upbeat language to ensure people come away with those same feelings. Associating happiness with your beverage? Smart move, Coca-Cola. So be all you can be. Get more. Just do it. And use these tips to become the ultimate branding machine.
Our brand style guide is an important visual communication tool for communicating the attitude, the feel, and the benefit of our products and services to the marketplace on a subconscious level. Signage, if we have a retail storefront or we have a commercial building, studio place, signage becomes very important. One that gets overlooked a lot is the place of business itself, that what what our studio looks like, what our offices look like, how clean they are, how products are arranged or portfolios are arranged. Just the overall interior design and exterior design of our studio space communicates a lot to our customers before they ever walk through the door. Social media is an important part of the marketing effort, and we'll spend a lot of time talking about that in our portfolio development course. Blogs and posting on other people's blogs is an important marketing activity as well. And again, we'll cover that in our portfolio development course. Newsletters, websites, e-commerce. And you might ask, why am I separating e-commerce from websites? Because not all websites do e-commerce, and e-commerce itself is a form of customer service that becomes a very important part of our marketing. So the easier we can make it for our clients, the better our marketing is as well. Plus, when we're doing e-commerce, we're writing product descriptions. That becomes an important part of our marketing efforts, is how we describe or romanticize, as some people call it. How do you romanticize your products? Using the ad copy becomes a very important part of that as well. Your sales processes and workflows that you use become important marketing tools because they're creating an experience for the client. And so when we talk about branding, we're not only talking about logos and typefaces and color, but we're also talking about what is the customer experience that's unique. When you go to Disney, you have a special experience when you go there. When you go to your favorite restaurant, you have a special experience. That's part of your marketing efforts as well, because you're creating this gush-worthy word-of-mouth referral system based upon the quality of experiences you're creating for your clients. Gifts, if you are wanting to surprise and delight your customers with adding additional gifts, the packaging, what you choose to give as a gift, becomes a very important part of your marketing. So I'll tell you a gift I had all the time when I had a retail portrait studio, and that is hair combs. I had blue hair combs to match the color theme of my brand, and then I had my name and my typeface on the edge of the comb, and I gave that to every customer that came in so that they could take that with them to the changing room and get ready for a portrait shoot. That's just one of the little things that you can do to add to your customer service experience. Advertising, including web-based ad media, direct mail, radio, TV, and print media, what we consider traditional mass media as well, all falls under one category of marketing. In fact, I'll tell you the first difference between marketing and advertising is marketing is more than just advertising. And then we have institutional advertising, which we'll talk about that as well as sponsorships. If you ever go on a golf course and see a park bench by one of the tees, they'll typically have a sign saying this hole sponsored by, and so you'll see opportunities. If you go to baseball games, you'll see along the fence the names of businesses who are sponsoring that season's baseball game. So sponsorships is another form of advertising and marketing as well. And then pro bono or volunteer community service becomes an important part of what we call cause-related marketing that works tremendously well for getting people to know you, like you, and trust you. Donations, I will tell you that I've donated to causes many times in my career. And so, for example, I've donated some landscape fine art prints to the Lands Council as a fundraiser auction. One year they raised $900 on the sale of just 2 of my prints. So that gave me a lot of name recognition as well. And you'll get opportunities to donate to charitable auctions or charitable organizations all the time. When I think about probably the most important marketing material, I will say this. Hands down, your business card is the single most important marketing tool you have, because it means that you've had a personal interaction with somebody, you're handing it to them, you're saying hello, you're greeting them, you're telling them about who you are and what you do, and you're building a relationship. And then I'm collecting that information back in the form of a business card from somebody else that I can then put into my contact mailing list. So here's an example of a card that I got from an artist recently. Promotional materials might include brochures, it might include catalog sheets, it might include booklets. There's any number of promotional materials that we can use to create a brand experience. Our portfolio is a very important promotional material for building our brand. educational materials, which are slightly different than promotional materials. I might write a booklet or a free guide to how to have a better senior portrait experience, or I might write a free book. I might write a free ebook on the value of commercial advertising photography to making greater sales for small businesses. Vendor recommendations, that actually gets what we call a brand affiliated marketing system, where we have vendors that we connect with, so that if I'm a wedding photographer and I make a recommendation to a cake shop and I make a recommendation to a flower shop, that we're kind of in the same boat, saying we're of equivalent quality and standards, and so we create what's called a brand affiliated network. Peer marketing is one that's often overlooked, but actually part of my marketing is to let other photographers in my market know about my products and services so that they can refer me when appropriate. You can't do it all, and I will tell you that when a client comes to me for something that I can't do well, I don't want to say, sorry, I can't do it, but rather I want to say, you know what? I'm going to recommend this photographer because they'll do a great job for you. And I've literally had experiences where a client came to me, I was booked, I couldn't do the job, I referred them to another photographer, and then 6 months later they came back to me for another kind of job that because they were so happy with the solution I gave them for their particular needs. So having a peer group that you can understand that you're part of a larger community, a larger industry, is very, very important. User group communities. This isn't something we see a lot in photography per se, although I can imagine it building with the idea of using groups on Facebook to build a user community as well. Teaching classes is another tool for marketing. Public relations is a powerful tool. Writing a good press release, giving interviews, being interviewed on radio, television, also participating in public events, maybe speaking out at a city council meeting, is another public relations opportunity for you to share who you are in the marketplace. And then special sales events, whether it's a trade show event, whether it's a special in-store sale that you're running, or you're doing some big event that you're inviting the public to come see you. Those are great marketing tools. Some other things that are overlooked quite often are things like your customer service policies, how those become part of your marketing. For years and years and years, Nordstrom's has been known for its premium customer service. They would take anything in on exchange, and the same with Costco. And so those become important marketing tools, because your marketing is really about proving your value to your clients so that they can make a buying decision. Guarantees and warranties, and I want to talk about the differences. Guarantees are a guarantee for the quality of your service. Warranties are the material guarantees that you give for your product. So, for example, if I have a print that fades or discolors over time, I might have a lifetime warranty to replace that print. Whereas a guarantee would be, I'm guaranteeing customer satisfaction, I guarantee to be on time, I guarantee to deliver a certain amount of items under certain circumstances. I'm making some sort of guarantee about my service, as opposed to a warranty that is based upon the materials that go into my products, and I transfer that warranty through my company to my clients. Customer loyalty and referral programs are really important ways to use word of mouth marketing for our businesses. So we might offer a referral credit for our clients who send somebody to us, or we offer a discount after so many services. If you go to your favorite espresso shop that's a local independent brewer, they might have a punch card where after you've bought 11 cups of coffee, you get your 12th one free. We see that with lots of different types of businesses as well. Customer testimonials are a huge part of our marketing now, and we have to build systems to encourage our clients to give us feedback, and then we have to find a way to publish that feedback and share it. So that's an important marketing tool as well. And then finally, our client and prospect list, how we acquire those names and addresses and how we maintain those, are absolutely critical parts of our marketing efforts. I want to encourage you all to take a look at this book, Marketing Without Advertising. So here's a digital copy I have of the 5th edition. I'll just show you the table of contents on this because it's just an outstanding book. First thing they point out is that advertising is often not as effective for long-term boutique businesses because it doesn't encourage loyalty. An awful lot of advertising is very targeted for a short-term immediate response. Buy now, respond by a certain date because you need to recoup the cost of the advertising. And so marketing, on the other hand, is a more holistic approach to making clients aware of you. And so I really like this book for how it really differentiates advertising from marketing. And it talks about the value of referral systems, the physical appearance of your business. It talks about how pricing becomes part of your marketing by how you explain your pricing structures and how you make it easy to understand. You help convert people by your descriptions of your products and services in your pricing guides. How we treat our employees says a lot to our customers, and so whether our employees seem like they're confident that they can make the right decisions, they can provide the customer service, whether employees are wearing some sort of labeled logo wear or uniform that unifies the brand, whether there's some standards there for appearance, makes a difference to the buying public. And then there's just some great resources there for you. So what is advertising? Well, advertising is defined as a form of marketing communication used by companies to promote or sell products and services. The primary goal of advertising is to influence the buying behavior by promoting a product, service, or company. To achieve this goal, advertising focuses on creative positioning and media. In doing so, advertising spreads awareness about what you have to offer. That's a mouthful. So what is the difference between marketing and advertising? The reality is advertising is actually one part of our overall marketing strategy. In fact, marketing is an overall strategy for how we're going to let our target market know that we exist. And I really want to emphasize the target market part because we're wanting to make the right people aware of us because they're the ones that are most likely to need our products and services. In addition to including an advertising plan, a marketing plan includes other components such as public relations, sales, and distribution strategies. All these elements are expected to work both independently and interdependently, and all must work together to support the same marketing goal. It's interesting to note that advertising typically accounts for the largest expense in most marketing plans, and in fact, a new business typically spends 10% of their overall gross revenue, what they call buying market share. They're going to buy their way into the marketplace by heavy doses of advertising. Whereas an established business will typically spend less than 5%, typically 2 to 2.5% of overall revenue sustaining their business in advertising efforts. A well-executed ad campaign is run on multiple channels and at a high frequency to create the desired impact. Now I want to restate that another way. Advertising takes an average of 7 impressions on your target market before they make a decision whether to buy or not. And in fact, advertising executives say that they don't really care what decision you make because they know statistically there's a certain segment of the target market that will buy their products and services. All they really care about is getting through all the clutter and noise of your everyday life, either using humor or something dramatic to get you to think about their products and services and to make a decision and act. So it takes an average of 7 impressions before we break through that clutter and make an impression so that somebody can decide whether to buy our product or service. It's worth mentioning that it takes a lot more time to develop a marketing plan than an advertising plan because marketing encompasses so many facets of your business operation. It involves everything from customer service to website to packaging, product packaging, all those different things that we listed. You have to think a lot of things through on a marketing campaign. It includes branding, etc. And then here's the biggest difference between marketing and advertising in terms of implementation is that advertising always has a strong call to action. And that call to action is going to be in the form of call now, buy now, purchase by this date to get this discount. It's a very heavy, immediate call for the consumer to make a decision. When we think about marketing and advertising, we have to think about building a sales funnel where at the top we have a large number of people that are trying to simply make aware of our products and services, and then we narrow that down to people that are actually interested in finding out more about our products and services. And this is where you'll see a lot of businesses will offer a free publication download if you input your contact info, subscribe to our newsletter, get some more information, get a price quote in exchange for giving us your information. We'll provide you all the information you need to make a decision. And then ultimately, they have to make some choices as to whether or not they trust us. And so they'll look at our website, they'll look at our testimonials, they'll do some background research, and they'll finally make a decision, and then that leads to action. If we go through our sales funnel, at this stage of awareness, the prospect learns about your existing solution, product, or service. They might also become aware of a problem in a new way and realize that they need to solve it and that you've got some possible ways to help them solve their problem. This is when a prospect visits your website for the first time, where they may have they may have been made aware of your website from an ad on Google. They might have come across it in a Google search or a Facebook ad or a post on social media. And so it drives them makes them aware and drives them to your website. At the second stage of interest, the prospect is actively looking for solutions to their problem and ways to achieve their goals. At this stage, the prospect is actively looking for solutions to their problems and ways to achieve their goals. The prospect searches for solutions, and this is when you can attract them with some great content. Now is the time when they express their interest in your product or service, they follow you on social media, and subscribe to your mailing list. So the next thing I want to share with you is this great resource that you can get a hold of if you buy the One-Page Marketing Plan book by Alan Dibb. And that is this template for how to design a marketing plan that's very simple to read. And one of the things I really love about this book by Alan Dibb is the shared experience I had that he talks about, which is when he first got started in business, he actually hired a business consultant, spent a large sum of money building a business plan, and out of all those materials, he realized there was only one lasting piece of value, and that was the marketing plan. And I was laughing because I was thinking about how I've still got these this whole file folder of materials of when I first developed a business plan back in 1989. And I worked with a business consultant. I spent $3,000 back then, which think about how much that money was worth at the time, and came up with financial proposals and all the attributes of a business plan, when in fact what I needed the most was a marketing plan. And in fact, that was exactly what I still have my original marketing plan from 1989, and that became the most useful piece of material for me, and so I want to encourage you to really think about how important marketing is for you. So looking at this marketing plan template, we see that we have a before, during, and after approach. So before is when we have a prospect, and we're going to talk about who is our target market. The second step is to say what's our message to that target market, and that's where we're defining our products and services for our target market, and there's a message that goes with that. And then the third is, how am I going to reach that target market? What media am I going to use to get that? And then when we develop a lead, so we go from somebody that's a prospect to actual lead, is the moment that we collect their actual information where they reveal themselves to us. And so Most likely your lead capture system is going to be some sort of contact form where people can sign up on your website to become part of your mailing list. And I can show you examples of that in just a little bit. Your lead nurturing system becomes part of your dashboard of your back office system that you have for working with clients. And then how do we actually do a conversion from prospect to a customer? We have to come up with some sales proposal and contract for them to sign and to sign off on. And then we look at how we're going to treat them during the experience of working with us as a customer. So what's the photo shoot going to be like? What's the video shoot going to look like? What kind of workflow we're going to use and create a world-class experience for them. And then we're going to think about how we can build a repeat business, a referral marketing system, and so this is really a pretty effective template. So here is a template that you can get when you purchase the Building a Story Brand book by Donald Miller, where building this narrative story about your products and services is a lot like telling the story of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, where your client or your prospect, they're the hero and you're the wise person that's helping them along the way. So you work through this, to work through this template, you start out with defining who's the character and what do they want, what are their hopes and desires, and then what is their problem and what is the villain that's creating that problem. Is it an external problem? Is it an internal problem? Is it a philosophical problem? Though the problem that our target market has is actually all three of those, and we'll spend a lot of time going over this next in our portfolio development class. And then they're going to come into contact with you, and you're going to be the guide, and you're going to have empathy, and you're going to have knowledge and authority of how to solve this problem, and you're going to give them a plan, and here's the process, and they're going to agree to that process, and then you're going to direct them, and then the client that you work with is going to be transformed from what they were to something new. And so we think about our products and services in terms of how do they transform our customer in some way. What's either going to help them be more successful, help them feel better about themselves and their self-esteem. If it's a portrait, if it's commercial, it might be more sales and help them be successful. And we're going to help them achieve success, and we're going to help them avoid failure. We're going to help them continue. We're going to help them avoid still suffering from what we call pain points. And again, we'll learn a lot more of that in our next class. So there you have it. This is the end of part one of our discussion on marketing and advertising. And hopefully what you're learning is that marketing is a holistic approach to promoting and making people aware of your products and services, and advertising is a very direct approach with a strong call to action, and that we're going to be spending time as we develop our portfolios and develop our websites. We're going to be spending the time focusing on the scripts and the ad copy that help convert prospects to clients. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.